there is so little separation between these teams.
I think that there's a bigger gap than what you believe between these two teams.
May I interest you in the Peach Bowl on Friday night between Indiana and Oregon? Like, I'm not trying to be Big Ten biased here, but maybe I am because we've won back-to-back national championships. And I'm just going to, spoiler alert, probably going to win a third. This is spectacular. Imagine, I mentioned this to my wife, Lindsay, over the holiday. I said, imagine someone trying to explain to somebody coming out of a coma after 2023, where Miami went where Indiana went like 3-9, and going, yeah, wow, Indiana made the Rose Bowl and it was a blowout, and you would probably go, oh my goodness, that's incredible. Well, credit to them for at least making it. And you go, no. They beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl 38-3.
Just annihilated them.
Ignore for a second the so-called experts who tried to like gaslight us into thinking Alabama over Notre Dame was the thing that should have happened. Like, that's impressive. That's just flat out.
I don't think it would have mattered who they played.
And frankly, like, I was maybe not just as impressed because Indiana it's just a different story, but I was very impressed with the way that Oregon played Texas Tech. Like that is a really, really good defense. Well, and Oregon won Oregon, you think of like this lightning fast team and offense everywhere. Yeah. They won a slugfest and gave up no points to what is also a pretty good Texas Tech offense.
And I think what makes this interesting, we haven't even touched on this yet.
Like, both teams earned their way in really impressive ways.
And this is just a larger realm of the whole college football playoffs, how the bracket is, the timing, the whole nine. And it's going to sound like an excuse. I don't mean it to be, but I do think it's an interesting conversation to be had. The record for teams that had a bye week in the playoffs right now is like what, 1-6 or something?
1-7.
1-7.
Yeah.
Indiana, the only team to overcome that.
It's impressive.
Last year, every single team lost. This year, every team but Indiana lost. Ohio State, and I don't know what the record was for the other teams. Ohio State hadn't played a game since like the beginning of December.
It had been a couple weeks. Yeah.
It had been like 20 something days since they had played football. To me, that's not the reason they lost.
No,
but when
it's been longer for Miami.
And I still think I would have picked all the other teams to win that did win. Like, other than I thought Alabama maybe could pull it off, I still probably have picked Oregon over Texas Tech. I would have coin flipped for Georgia Ole Miss. I could have seen Ole Miss winning that. But I do think there needs to be a conversation to how you can fix something like that. Because regardless of the outcomes, I don't think it's ideal that these teams have to wait 3 weeks when their opponent's been off for like a week. Yeah. Something there needs to change. And that's the small part of a conversation that has numerous different holes in it.
There's no reason, and I think Dan Lanning even said there's no reason that
every Saturday in December should have college football.
We should be you could still be playing the national championship in the Rose Bowl on January 1st, the way God intended. There's my pitch. Josh Pate likes to talk about being the commissioner of college football. We could do this job too. So now we get the rematch. We got Indiana and Oregon. Indiana beat Oregon in their own building back in October, 30-20. Held the Ducks to just 13 offensive points. They gave up a pick 6 in that game. It was a phenomenal back and forth game. And there is so little separation between these teams. Like, it made me, as I was prepping for this, it made me think like, when I was growing up, like, my mom would do this thing where she would take her fingers and she'd go, my patience, here's how much patience I have left. And she'd hold her fingers there and they're touching. And she goes, do you see any space in between there? She was a great mom. But that's this amount of separation that I'm seeing between Oregon and Indiana right now. There's no space in between there. None. It is so hard for me. Like, these are dynamic offenses, stout defenses, play each other close, mirror each other so well. It is so hard for me to pick against Indiana in this game. But there's a part of me that feels like everybody's a believer in Indiana right now.
Don't do it.
And there's a part of me that says Dan Lanning and Oregon go, that's fine.
Don't do it.
Oregon.
Don't do it. And that's coming from me. Oregon. So you should honestly.
Listen.
You should think twice about that.
Who am I cheering for? I'm probably cheering for Indiana, if I'm being honest with you. But there's just something about Indiana being this underdog. And now suddenly they're kind of like the favorite. And I just go 24-21 Oregon. 24-21 Oregon on their way to a national title.
This is where I disagree with you.
The winner of this game is going to win it, by the way.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm hesitant, though. I think that there's a bigger gap than what you believe between these two teams.
Really?
I think the growth that Indiana has had, they obviously have been great all season, as their record shows. What I've seen from them in the Big Ten
Championship. You can tell their record's great because of the way it is.
Because of the way it is. From the Big Ten Championship till now, I know they've only played those two games. They've just looked completely dominant. And they have all season, but there's just been a different level to it. I thought after the Ohio State game, when they won the Big Ten Championship, I thought Alabama would be able to beat them, but I thought even if they didn't beat them, they would test them. And Indiana just pounded them to the ground.
This is the second Rose Bowl in a row that has just not been any fun to watch. No, I take that back.
It was a blast last year.
Last year was not. This year was actually fun to watch because it's like you must be a sick individual to watch Indiana beat up on Alabama. It's like fever of 104. Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like this level of focus is what you see out of the guys that usually win it all.
Yeah.
Cignetti is on a roll. You can tell they're laser focused. Even when they're up 38-3, he's over there screaming on the sidelines, still invested. That's the same mindset I saw Ryan Day have last year in every single one of their blowout wins. There's just a different tone to that program now. I can't pick against them. I've picked against them for too long.
Let's go. It's time.
I'm not even mad. I'm giving credit where credit is due. I said that I would after the Big Ten Championship, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Indiana blows the doors off them. I think it's 27-14. I think you get Indiana versus Miami in the Natty, and I think that game, spoiler alert, I won't tell you who wins. I think it is going to be just a slugfest.
I will say it's not a bad pick at all. And again, I'm probably, my heart's pulling for Indiana here because how could you not? But even looking at since that win in Eugene, they've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. They've played 8 games since that win in Eugene. Here's how many points they've given up in 7 of those 8 games. Okay. So the one outlier was the 27-24 Penn State game. Okay. Here's outside of that, how many points they've given up. Michigan State, 13. UCLA, 6. Maryland, 10. Wisconsin, 7. Purdue, 3. Ohio State, 10. Alabama, 3.
Phenomenal.
That's pretty good, folks.
Some would say the stats are stats.
Thanks to the Ohio Science Institute, by the way, for sponsoring the college football playoff semifinal segment there. Phenomenal football. By the way, if you happen to listen or watch this on Monday, which we're recording Monday morning, FCS national titles tonight. Illinois State at Montana State.
Who's your pick? Montana State. Go. I'm assuming they're the Grizzlies.
No, that's Montana. You just offended all the Bobcat fans. Go Cats or something. And then Illinois State played Oklahoma and scored 3 points on them earlier this year.
Doesn't matter.
Illinois State's a great. By the way, just as an aside, if you've not watched the highlights of Illinois State upsetting North Dakota State in the weirdest comeback you'll ever see, go do yourself a favor and watch that before the game tonight. That's all. Follow us on social media or whatever. The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.